All right, so please put in the chat, or if you're watching the replay, put it in the comments below where you are joining from in the world, where you are on this earth in this springtime, day before Easter 2021. All right, Inverness, California, Suzanne, Pam is in Sholo, Mary's in Sebastopol, Pamela's in Point Reyes Station. I'm here in San Rafael, California. So, while those continue to come in, ooh, sunny Colorado, Christine, wonderful. So while those continue to come in, let you know what we are up to today, which is an hour-long practice, Yin Yoga and meditation. And some of you know I've been really digging into meditation practice, and particularly this approach called Instinctive Meditation, which is inspired in large part by the Radiance Sutras, and I'm studying with the translator of the book, The Radiance Sutras, Lauren Roche, and learning this wonderful approach that he has developed. He calls it Instinctive Meditation, and he teaches it along with his wonderful wife, Camille, who is a very body-oriented person, and they make such an incredible pair that I've just been infused, and Conrad's doing this, doing these studies with me. And so we'll dive into that a little bit for the final 20 minutes of our practice. And one of the things that I'm feeling a lot of, or hearing and feeling a lot of, is this a bit of a juxtaposition, or the syzygy is a word that I'm working with lately, with the play of opposites. And the play of opposites right now is that there is a springtime happening for many of us in the northern hemisphere. Some of you are not in the northern hemisphere, I know. But we have springtime, we have warmth, and plants are bursting out into life, and bees and insects and everything is in its new life cycle, and there's this natural part of our human being that wants to burst out with new life. And yet we're also kind of all dealing with some amount of trauma from what's been happening for the past year. And so there's a lot of mixture of some of the more difficult emotions, and sadness and grief, and not being able to see your families on Easter time, and things like that, or whatever holiday or whatever thing you might normally do this time of year. It's like another cycle coming around that's reminding us, oh yeah, we've strayed so far away. I've strayed so far away from my normalcy, and it's been a long time. So we have this mixture of the excitement of spring, and the grief that still needs to be cared for gently and tended to. So that's what we're going to kind of be moving with today. So to begin, let's start out in Seiza pose, sitting on your heels, or any kind of comfortable seat that you'd like. Hands can rest on top of your thighs or in your lap with the palms facing up. And please make yourself comfortable. If this position bothers your knees, just sit some other way that works better for you. Anything works. You could sit with your back against the wall or on a chair, and especially for our seated meditation later, I will be sitting in a chair myself. So please close the eyes as you're ready, unless you prefer to keep them open. And now starting to tune into this inner self, this inner being, this tender being that has been holding and managing all of this change, whatever that change looks like in your world. Maybe isolation, maybe difficult emotions, or maybe you're one of those who have been loving this time of getting to have solo time and not too many demands to do things. Whatever it is that's been with you during this time, begin to let it settle in to the awareness that you have of your body right now, your heart, your spine. How are your chakras buzzing this morning? How is your energy body feeling in its aliveness? And now please release your hands. Gently open your eyes and circle your arms around, bring them out and up over your head. And as you exhale, bring the hands down. So your palms face down, moving into our 4-part Taoist breath. So at the heart level, press it out with your palms open, so open to either side. And now bend forward, let the hands contact the earth, and kind of drag the hands along the ground in front of you. Round your spine to lift all the way up, bringing the hands up over the head, and exhaling and slowly settling the chi down all the way this time through the heart, through the ribs, and down to the belly. Let the hands hover here for a moment just before the low belly, the energy center called the lower dantian, right? Now we'll take the arms out again. So begin again, arms come up over the head. And the hands turn to face down, just gently coaxing this energy, this life force down into the heart, and open it out with open palms. And now the second phase is to take it forward, drag the hands along the ground. You can feel this earth energy infusing, nourishing you, and now pull this earth energy up like you're pulling and magnetizing the earth itself with your hands. And exhaling and let it settle down, sprinkling down like a soft warm rain through your body, all the way down to the belly. And now begin again. And this first gesture is connecting with the sun energy, letting it pour in, and as you exhale, absorbing it through the crown of the head and absorbing this sun energy into the heart. And now open it out, palms open, your own energy expanding, radiating out. Beautiful. And now take it down, connect with the earth. Hands in front of you, round your spine to come all the way up. And slowly coaxing this energy, mixing earth and sun together in your body, all the way down to the belly. And now expanding one more time and moving into the more galactic level. We have the gathering of the universe, the stars, the expansiveness, and pulling that in, absorbing that into the body, and pressing out, feeling your own sense of gravity in this world, your own pull to the earth as you bow forward, honoring this earth that's always hugging you in, always holding you, pulling it up, just playing with this gravity, with this hugging earth. And now slowly bring it down through your head and down through your heart and all the way to your belly. Good. Let the hands hover here before the lower dantian. Close the eyes, feeling this pulsation of energy of life inside of the core of your being. Good. Release the hands. Let the eyes gently open and come into a seated position for butterfly pose. And you can choose to sit up on a cushion or 2 cushions or as many as you'd like, or a folded blanket. And then come forward over your legs, hands to come around the toes or hands on the floor, whatever the hands want to do to help you relax and surrender into this sense of gravity. Continuing this awareness of and connection to Earth's pull on this body. The embrace of the earth through the force of gravity as Mother Earth embraces you, your body. And you may be starting to feel the sensations of this pose in the target area, which is the inner thighs and the back of the torso, the back of the spine. And you may still be adjusting. You can always play around. If you haven't found your place you want to settle yet, you can have the feet closer in or farther away, more or less lift under your seat. And now beginning a slow transition out of the pose, lifting up through your torso and your spine, and draw your knees together. Come all the way down onto your back and take a rest on the back. Once again, bringing awareness to the pull of gravity on your body. And as we practice in community today, all of our bodies on our different points on the surface of the earth are all being drawn in toward the same center. We're all being pulled with these threads of love by Mother Earth into the same embrace as the earth turns, as the seasons change. This is a constant. And now please bend your knees and hug them into your chest and wrap your arms around your legs. And then circling your knees or rocking side to side, whatever feels good. Coming into spinal twist, take both knees to the right, and you can touch your feet down first if you'd like to adjust the hips. I like to adjust the hips to the left first and then take the knees in and over to the right. Reach your left arm out to the left. The right hand can anchor the legs down. Options are to cross the knees, having the left knee over the right, or to keep your right leg straight down the mat and just have the left knee across, or to take the cat-tail pose, left hand to the right foot. And as your body settles into the twist, you have choices of the exact position of your arms can really vary quite a bit. They can be higher up or lower down. You could bend at the elbows. Some people really like to do the cactus arm position, and others like to kind of clasp the hands behind the head or use one hand behind the head and kind of manipulate the head or pull some length into the neck. And notice the play of breath here as you kind of constrict your body in certain ways by coming into this position. The breath needs to find its path. It needs to find where to expand. So notice that process. Notice where this breath goes, where you can feel it while you twist. And slowly release to bring your knees back up to the center and pause at the center. Let your knees rest in against each other. Let your hands rest on your belly. And feel the energy of the pose after the first side, after the twist. And now moving to the second side, both knees to the left or your variation. Right arm out to the right side. Or your different arm variation as you like. Another arm variation that you might enjoy is to have this arm, instead of being extended out to the side, is have it up over the head. And while you may feel some stretching in your outer hip or your waist, your obliques, or your chest and your pectorals. Those are like the multiple soft tissue areas we can feel this pose. But there's a primary target area that's in the bones of the spine. So the vertebrae kind of shear against each other in a way that's considered in this context of Yin Yoga to be therapeutic on the discs, to have this controlled amount of stress, of pressure between the bones, keeping the spine healthy, keeping it alive, keeping it able to do its full healthy range of motion, whatever that is for you. Because of course it's different for everyone. And again, where does the breath go as you rest here? And slowly release back up to the center. Straighten your legs out or take any resting position you'd like. And feel what's happening inside. Feel the flow of energy. Feel the flow of the life force in you. And feel what's been awakened by these first couple of postures. And gently letting the eyes open as you bring your knees in toward your chest, and circle the knees or rock side to side or take any movement that feels good. And coming into a back bend of your choice, which will be either the Sphinx, the seal, or the supported bridge. So if you want to do supported bridge, you'll need a block for that, and you lift the hips and slide the block under the hips. You can keep the legs bent like this, or you can straighten them like this. And the other choices are to come onto your belly and prop yourself up on your elbows or on your arms. And once you've found your back bend, checking in with the position that you've settled into. See if your legs want to be wider or narrower. See if your arm and head and neck position is serving you. Remembering you can adjust as you need to. And people sometimes wonder what they're supposed to do with their head if you're in the Sphinx or the seal. And Some yin yogis are very particular about being perfectly still. Some yin yoga teachers, and you may have noticed if you studied with me a lot that I wiggle a lot in my yin postures, and I kind of prefer to allow some movement within the pose. But it's quite individual, and some people, I know the stillness, especially if you're in kind of a really slow, gentle, healing mode, just dropping into complete stillness might be where your energy is at. But I just want to let you know, if you find yourself moving a lot in yin, it doesn't mean you're doing it wrong. And so especially with the head here in this pose, because sometimes the energy of holding the head up can make us kind of stagnant feeling. Slowly release and press the hips up and back to take child's pose, and rest in child's pose for 1 minute. And now slowly coming up and sitting with the legs in front for a straight-legged forward bend of your choice. And you will also have the option here to do legs up the wall pose. So we'll be 3 minutes in a symmetrical forward bend, and the legs can be closer together here for caterpillar pose, or they can be wide apart for dragonfly pose, or for today, anywhere in between might be an interesting exploration for you, doing like something in between a caterpillar and a dragonfly. Typically what happens is the sensation is more in the torso and the spine when the legs are closer together, and then more in the legs as they come wider apart. And then when you get really wide, for some people it starts to also be a groin stretch. But let's try and keep it today more in the back body, either the legs or the spine. And as usual for forward bends, feel free to have your seat lifted on a cushion, folded blanket, or whatever you have. And letting the softening energy of this forward bend begin to calm your mind. There is this gesturing of the body in this position with the head softening forward, with the head bowing forward, that tends to make it a more calming kind of position to do. The lengthening of the back of the neck also contributes. And so enjoying this kind of closing in on yourself, holding your vulnerable part of your body closely and gently, and nurturing yourself here with your breath. Slowly releasing now and coming down onto your back. Resting on your back. Feeling the energy moving through you now after the nurturing posture of the forward bend. And now bend your knees in toward your chest and hug the hands or arms around the legs. Lift your head up toward your knees to squeeze into a ball and release your head back down. And now take your left foot on the ground and your right ankle over the left knee. So coming into figure 4 pose, pulling the left leg toward you, thread your right arm through the hole that's being created by the legs and clasp behind your left thigh or in front of your left shin. We'll do 1.5 minutes here on each side. Targeting now the glutes on the right side. You can always do this at the wall. If you prefer the wall postures, left foot on the wall. And releasing, left foot on the ground, right foot on the ground, and take your left ankle over your right knee. Maybe feeling the stretch in the left buttock or down the outside of the left leg. This is a good stretch to do to keep the external rotators and the piriformis muscle from getting too tight, which is the main cause of sciatica problems that are so common, where you have pain radiating down your legs, nerve pain. Very good. Releasing now, and extend your legs, coming into a 3-minute final Shavasana, resting on your back, making yourself comfortable, any position that you'd like. Legs up the wall if you'd like. Cover yourself with a blanket or extra clothes or whatever you need to be cozy and warm. As we prepare to transition into instinctive meditation, it's been delighting me to see how Yin Yoga really is a form of instinctive meditation. That one of the reasons I believe most of us love Yin is because it's a special time to be calm and quiet and dwell within ourselves, within our own inner energies and rhythms, where no one has told us what to think or what we're supposed to focus on. We're not constraining our minds in any way. And I really believe that when our thoughts and emotions and instincts are allowed to bubble to the surface naturally in their own order, without them being controlled, that this is an incredibly healthy and needed thing for the body to do, for the mind to do. So as you rest, you might notice what's here, what's bubbling up to the surface of your being, if it's physical awareness, if it's thoughts or emotional awareness, and being with what comes and letting it float away as it's ready, but not trying to push anything away, holding it as long as it wants to be held and attended to. And now taking a deeper breath into your belly and into your heart. And as you exhale, begin to stretch your arms and legs, taking a nice full body yawn if that feels good, and roll over to one side when you're ready to make a gentle transition to a meditation position, sitting in a chair or on the floor or with your back against the wall or on the sofa, whatever is convenient right now, whatever feels right for your state of being right now. And now for this practice of instinctive meditation, the eyes can be open or closed, whatever you prefer. And take these first few moments to settle into your comfortable position, adjusting your seat, maybe even taking a little stretch or another yawn. And beginning to let your energy come to the inner part of your skin, the inside of these walls of your being. And this is a meditation on welcoming all that arises. And so we have these cycles that our body and mind go through, and in meditation that can be a feeling of rest and, it's so wonderful to be here and to have a moment of quiet and calm. There can be the relief of this, and you can dwell in this place as long as you like, as long as it's available, knowing that eventually something else will come. Thoughts may come, emotions. They may come in the form of remembering your day, remembering yesterday, or something from even farther in the past, something that your mind wants to hold in this safe place of meditation. And this remembering is something you can honor in your meditative space. That, this is something that my mind wants to visit again in a different frame. And another phase of this process can be rehearsing, maybe envisioning how this scenario that happened in the past could happen differently in the future. How could I do better? How could I have been kinder? How could I have been more assertive? How could I have taken care of myself better? Whatever it might be, rehearsing. And sometimes it looks more like planning, or even just attending to the to-do list. And in this instinctive approach to meditation, we welcome this. We welcome what the mind is maybe feeling a little overly full or burdened with, that it wants to bring into this space. So resting, remembering, rehearsing, releasing is another phase, where it may be that something bubbles up in your awareness that is ready for you to be done with. That's why it's bubbled up. It's time to let it go. Time to say goodbye. Maybe it's a difficult emotion that you've been suppressing, and maybe that releasing comes in the form of some tears or some anger or some emotion that needs to be acknowledged that's been getting stuffed down. Recharging is yet another phase where meditation can be quite energizing or blissful, in the sense that our bodies can feel so aware of the life around, the life force, the energy of the sun, the earth, the air molecules circulating all around, and the feeling of the breath, and the body as a living organism just being so charged up by life itself, recharging. Refreshing, renewing. Connecting with the energies of life. And you may experience feelings of attachment, love, connection with the beings in your life, with those who you love, partner, child, animal, or people you work with or serve in some way, your community, your passion, the people that you are serving with your passion. And this is the path of intimacy, this being with, being aware of our love, our connection with others, and how to love better. How to balance the interchange between caring for others and caring for myself. So welcoming the heart into this space of meditation, welcoming emotions, welcoming awareness of loved ones, resting, remembering, rehearsing, recharging, and trusting this process, trusting this natural instinct of your body and mind, knowing that your mind has a vested interest in rewiring itself to help you be the most full and the most effective in your life. As you go throughout your day-to-day, that you can operate with a minimal amount of mental clutter, mental hindrances. The brain wants to rest, wants to restore, wants to rewire itself to optimize you. Welcoming this process of the brain. Welcoming this process of the mind, the emotions, and the heart working together. and enjoying this symphony of the self happening inside. This combination of awarenesses that are coming and going in their own rhythm, their own pulsation. Your very own symphony that has never been played before this and will never be played exactly the same way again. And now beginning a gentle transition from the inner world to the world of being and action. So any movements you'd like to start to make, perhaps some gentle circles of the spine or the head or the shoulders, and some deeper breaths, and maybe a stretch or a yawn. And that's our practice for this Saturday, April 3rd. Namaste, everyone. Thank you so much for joining me. I'm going to stick around and invite you to stick around for maybe 10 or 15 minutes of discussion about the practice, and if you need to sign off, then please do, and thanks so much for joining. Namaste. I hope you enjoyed this practice, and if you did, hit the thumbs up button, subscribe to my channel, and check out my other yoga videos. And if you felt anything in this practice that you think is going to help you through your day, let me know about it. Put it in the comments below, or of course let me know if you have any questions, and I will see you next time.